Right, hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention is unity and oneness, the highest levels of love light. I'm just kind of waking up and thought I'd pop on and do a video. So we'll see where this leads. A little light language perhaps, maybe a little inflow message. I just did a video recently. Actually, I'll just go right into it. Amokua wahe ate ana o kuana nak este no kehene di anhe uk uostet ek uk enhe et kuahet enna. And as you find peace in yourself within, you will find peace in the coming times, the coming change of tides. For the tides are changing. We can feel it in the reconstruction, the reconstructing of the deconstruction, the deconstructing of the deconstruction. Goet dus tamu uno et enanak hanet ena. Just breathing in and out as the energies shift. As you allow yourself to feel the expansive expression that you are, rebirth in each moment, the reconstructing, the reconstitution, as things are reconstructed from the higher echelons, from the ancestors within your bones, within our frequencies that we are transmitting from. We recognize one another as we transition through these seemingly uncertain, trepidatious times. For time has shifted. Times are changing. Time is no longer set within the same construction zone that we have lived within or that we have constructed within for so many seasons. As we open to the changes, as we embrace the change from within, as we recognize that the stagnation that had set in is now shifting, sifting through, as we hold hands in the changing sands of time, as we recognize that we are coming together in a unified field consistency, in a new frequency of vibration, as we consistently seek within to send out our waves of, I'm seeing all kinds of things, so I'm just trying to think of the right words. Feel the right words, so to speak. That was a play on words, by the way. Feel the right words, so to speak. We send out our signals to one another So I'm seeing a reference to bees, and bees send out vibrations, signals, I believe maybe even some sort of pheromone, but I can't remember exactly right now, but I'm seeing a beehive. And I'm seeing all kinds of beehives, and I'm seeing these beehives interacting with one another, and each one is building something different, yet at the same time constructing. So one particular beehive will have, let's say, their area of expertise is science, and another particular beehive likes to pull in beautiful artistic works, and another beehive, everybody has these different unique individual expressions, and yet it's all working toward a new consistency. So I'm seeing like we're reconstructing, it's like a recipe when you change it, reconstitute it from old scraps is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing scrapbooking. It's like we're taking these pieces and we're putting them together and creating a new book, a new song, a new way of being. And we're leading by example, essentially. As we step up and become the leaders united, as we recognize that we are no longer divided in a false sense of security, in a false sense of uniformity, when in actuality it was quite a calamity. We play within a new frequency of understanding, and we recognize that as we seek to understand more of what it is that we came here to express, or what it is that brings us the joy of expression. I'm seeing like that book, The Joy of Cooking. What recipes are we making? Are we enjoying our expression? Are we playing in someone else's pie is what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing a pie graph and a pie chart. Like, are we going to be part of this statistical model? We are creating the new statistical model. We are the creators. And as we step back and step out of line in a following the person in front of us, I'm seeing like a system, you know, domination, things that we're being told to do, but recognize that all is truly departing. So I'm seeing the parting of the Red Sea. I'm seeing a parting. We're kind of separating from an old system, and when this happens, it can seem uncomfortable, painful, awkward, much like growing pains, and it can make us feel like we need to hang on because of that false sense of security that we have when we become complacent, or when we don't change. It gives us this sense of, well, if I stay here, I'll be okay. And what I'm being shown is we're being invited to step up to the plate and say, I'm not going to stay here. I am going to move. I am going to come back to finding the joy of what I want to create. And this isn't a selfish thing. This is about us reunifying with self, our higher self, and recognizing that what was put out in front of us was I'm hearing a plate, and they were like, here's your plate, and this is all you get. And we're seeing that beyond that, I'm also hearing tectonic plates. Like, I'm seeing like the earth is expanding. So part of this is a play on words. Like the shaking and the shifting of the tectonic plates. I'm seeing like literally, I'm hearing the cup overfloweth, and I'm hearing the crust overfloweth. Lots of references to pies, earth crust. I'm hearing rising up into a new mantle. So we can talk about that. The fires of creation. Playing with words in my environment, right? So everything is shifting, as above, so below, as within, so without. And so in joy, we find what it is that aligns us with our new way of being, our new frequency mechanics is what I'm hearing. And it sometimes it's scary to say we are not going to follow this path anymore, this job anymore, be friends with those types of people. go along with somebody else's program or story. And when we say, I don't play in that anymore because we see things from a higher perspective, that actually creates an entirely different reality system in which others can feel into it and link up as well. And it gives other people courage, or it offers a vibration that other people can feel into their own courage. So it's not like we're giving it to somebody else. It's not like we're doing it for somebody else. We do it for ourselves, and in that we lead by example. And I'm seeing that as also a play on words. I'm hearing example, like we re-examine what's going on in our lives. We've already passed the tests. It's not about being tested over and over again anymore. And it's beyond example, like the pulling apart. Our pole is going from one end to the other. We then move into our own sense of security in ourselves and not looking outside of us for somebody else to offer us security, or I keep hearing false sense of security. And then we go, okay, well, this person I'm going to invest this energy in and they make me feel like I'm secure. It's feeling our own security, and in that other people then can feel that radiating out from us. And it helps to essentially support, I keep hearing the mantle, M-A-N-T-L-E. So that's a big play on words. And this creates as this expansion happens and there's this feeling of this, we then, as we can call, I like to call star seeds, right? Star flowers is really what I want to start calling us, because we've already we're beyond the seed stage, but as light workers, as humans, having an experience on Earth together, we create this new network, this new fabric, if you will, this new reality construct in a new space, in a new time. And that is also a huge play on words, and deconstructing the old system. And as that pulls apart, it becomes softer, it becomes more balanced, it becomes easier, because we are providing, as those that want to be leaders, that feel somewhat stable. It assists in stabilizing those who are don't realize that, or unable to at this moment find that within themselves. That doesn't mean we become saviors, and that doesn't mean we are then in that role at all. We just hold our field so others can say, well, what are you doing differently? Or why is that working for you? Or it's just leading by example and stepping up and being a leader in that example, being kind to others, not feeling the need to fight everything tooth and nail, to recognize that what's going on outside of us is truly outside of us, and it's a reflection of what's going on within. And so seeing things for what they are and recognizing that sometimes this chaos that's going on is merely a reflection of what's being integrated and what we're pulling away from. And not to get sucked back into the illusion that that is a reality or a truth. Because as I've stated before, that was a reality and a truth before. Just like my truth and reality 2 weeks ago is different than my truth and reality now. Because for me, time has shifted. Things are more spacious for me. I feel in a different flow than I did before. And it's okay. Recognizing that and allowing that to be the case and not fighting up against it is part of the journey of being more harmonious and being in a new space of acceptance of what is, and recognizing what no longer is, and honoring the fact that it may have been true, right, before, but in this new space, it no longer is, and that's okay. Not feeling guilty, and if we do feel guilty, recognizing it and letting it integrate. I heard the word percolate, but like, what does that mean? Again, the exam. We've passed the exams. Now it's time to actually get out there and do the work. Sometimes we get really caught up in just doing the spiritual studying. We want to study this and we want to learn that, and we have to take this test in order to get that certification so that we can feel like, okay, now I have the certification, therefore I am worthy, or it means that I have the permission to do what it is that I passed the exam for. But what my guides keep showing me is we are all already masters embodied. We just have to remember that. And it isn't about a piece of paper, and it isn't about, I mean, sometimes it is because that's what we need in the 4D in order to get into a certain job, or, you know, if you want to become a doctor, obviously in this time and place, we have to do the paper and pass the exams. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm just talking about life. There's a lot of starseeds and light workers out there that feel like they constantly need some sort of reinforcement or validation, and it can be very helpful, but there is, I like it too. I love to have that validation. It makes me recognize sometimes if I am on the right track, and it helps me feel supported by my brothers and sisters. And we are all here to support one another, but there are those light workers that have yet to get off the bench, so to speak, is what I'm hearing. So this is a very multi-layered message, lots of good things happening, as long as we're not getting caught up, and I'm hearing, in the rhetoric, right? And stop asking rhetorical questions is kind of what I'm seeing. Like, you already know the answer, and yes, it's okay to get that validation, but there comes a point when it's time to get off the bench and step up and be a leader and lead by example, even if that just means, again, what we always talk about, helping out your neighbor, or volunteering someplace, or doing that piece of artwork that you've always wanted to do and not worrying about what somebody else is going to think about it. So, in love and light, guys, that's going to be the end for today. I do have several follow-up videos that I did to the bubble purple pill chart video, and I'll be sharing those soon. So, namaste.